Hello and welcome to today's video. This is my April TBR video, and yet again for this one we're getting out the snakes and ladders. So this is the board, I made it myself. I call it TBR snakes and ladders, or snakes and ladders TBR. Honestly, it's really simple. If you want full detailed how it works, I will link January's video up above somewhere, because that I went over everything completely there. However, for the sake of today, I'm just going to do a quick talk through. So this is the board. If you land on a colour square, it relates to a prompt. If you land on a snake, you do the prompt at the bottom of the snake and also add one. If you land on a ladder, you do the prompt at the top of the ladder and also -1. There are 4 silver squares. If they come up, I will explain them. So far, none of them have come up, I don't think. So, yeah, they're just a little bit something extra, just to give the game a little bit extra, I guess. So, yeah. Then, in terms of the prompt squares, so there's 5 different colours going through. If you land on one of those, you pick up a card of the same colour and turn it over and complete the prompt. If you land on purple, the card prompt will be something to do with the visual aspect of the book, so something visual such as an element on the cover. If you land on a pink square, the matching card prompt will be something to do with genre-ish, and it's ish because there's more cards in here than there are genres, honestly, so some of them aren't exactly genres, but for instance, a classic. Nice and easy. If you're on a blue square, it will relate to some sort of game aspect. So you pick it up, turn it over. So this one is a poll pick. So I'd select 4 cards and put a poll on them. Simple, simple. If you land on an orange square, it's a type. So there's a type of book you're picking. This has got loads of different things, but for instance, a paperback, that's a type. So yeah, nice and simple. And then last but not least is other. These are the cards that I didn't think would fit into any of the other 4. So, for instance, other is set in cold/winter. And it can just be anything. There's loads of random stuff in here. But yeah, those are the prompts. And we pretty much just play the game. I roll using an 8-sided die. And I just move my counter around. I'll start on the space that I ended on last month. And obviously the aim is to eventually get all the way through the board. It's not as easy as you might think. I definitely don't enjoy the placement of the snakes, because right now I don't think I've ever got higher than like this line here. So yeah, we end up down the bottom a lot, but it's all good. So yeah, I guess that is everything I need to explain, I think. If I forgot anything, just ask me down below and I can answer any questions. But yeah, let's start rolling. Okay, starting off where we left off last time, roll number 1. That was a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue. Blue is game, and it's a boyfriend pick, so shh. So, roll number 1 was game, and this was boyfriend pick. So I got Jay to come in and pick a book, so I will play that footage now.
Game, boyfriend pick.
You have to pick a book.
I'm going to pick one of these ones, as you were telling me about them earlier, that they're all self-destructive.
Yeah.
I think this is the only one I've really heard of, and I've seen the film of this.
Okay.
So this is what I'm going to pick.
If I was to read it, would you watch the film with me after?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
So, do you want to show what you've picked? Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. So as you just saw, the book that Jay picked was Gone Girl. So this is the first book. Honestly, I don't know a lot about this. Everyone says to read it. A lot of people tell me to read it. Who are you? What have we done to each other? Those are the questions Nick Doone finds himself asking on the morning of his 5th wedding anniversary, when his wife, Amy, suddenly disappears. The police suspect Nick. Amy's friends reveal that she was afraid of him, that she kept secrets from him. He swears it isn't true. A police examination of his computer shows strange searches. He says they weren't made by him. And then there are the persistent calls on his mobile phone. So what did happen to Nick's beautiful wife? we'll find out, won't we? Because I'm going to read it at some point this month. And in case you didn't know, I do weekly reading vlogs, little bit of a self-promo. I'll link the playlist up above. But yeah, at some point the book will feature in a vlog, so watch out for that if you want to find out more. Okay, so roll number 2 is a 2. That is Other, which is lowest rated book. I actually just realised I need to be holding it that way around, which means I did not hold number 1 that way around. But yeah, lowest rated book for Other. So roll number 2 we got Other, and for this we got lowest rated book. Now I don't have all of my books on Goodreads, so what I did for this is I selected a shelf. I selected a shelf down here. I took a picture when I did it, so I'll put that picture on now. And you can see there's a lot of series on this shelf. So what I did is either the first book in the series or the next book I needed to read in the series, I put them all through Goodreads and found the lowest rated one. And the lowest rated on that shelf, not necessarily of all the books, but of the book I'd need to read next within all those series, was Twilight. This will be a reread for me. It's on these unread shelves up here because I want to reread it at some point, see if I still like it, see if it's even still worth keeping. But yeah, so I'll be reading Twilight. It's as simple as that. If you don't know what this is about, there's a vampire and a werewolf and a girl who's neither but would be happy being either. That's probably the worst way I could explain it, but yeah, I'm assuming that everyone knows what Twilight is about, so I'm not going to go into it, but that was the lowest rated book, so I'll also be reading this month. Okay, so roll number 3 is a 2, 1, 2, and that is Visual, which is yellow cover. So Visual, yellow cover. Then roll number 3 we got Visual. So this was a yellow cover, and to be honest I wasn't 100% sure what to go for, but what I ended up picking was one that I've been wanting to read for a while, and that is Yoke. So Yoke is essentially 2 sisters that don't get along, and then one of them gets diagnosed with cancer, so the other sister needs to like take care, and they need to figure out their relationship together and build on that. And then it does say like on the back that other sister might also become ill within that time. But yeah, this is meant to be really interesting, really emotional, and just be a very important and impactful read, so I'm really excited to get to this one. Okay, roll number 4. That definitely knocked that off, but that is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is Type. So Type, and we've got Middle Book, which is 200 to 500 pages. Oh, wrong way again. Middle Book, which is 200 to 500 pages. So that was for roll number 4. Then we got Type of book. So the one that came up for this was a middle book. So for me, a middle book is anything between 200 to 500 pages. And very perfectly, I picked this one. So this is actually 498 pages, which these pages are actually quite big. This is bigger than your average paperback, like, you know. So maybe it's a bit of a bigger book, but that's all good. And that is Clockwork Prince. This is the 2nd book in the Infernal Devices series. I'm currently slowly doing a reread of both the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices because I'd like to check out some of Cassandra Clare's new books. But obviously these worlds are all linked together, and I think I figured out it had been roughly 10 years since I read all of them. Like, maybe started a year or 2 before, maybe finished them a year or 2 after, but somewhere in that like 8 to 12 year range is when I last read them. So I'm basically just want to update myself, and this is the next one along. I'm actually still, it is still a few days after March at the moment. It's only the 19th as I'm filming this. So I'm currently reading City of Fallen Angels, which is the book previous to this in publication order, part of the Mortal Instruments, and yeah, I'm rereading them in publication order. Infernal Devices is set in London, And according to a quick Google search, because it didn't say on the back, it's set in 1878. And yeah, honestly, I would say go into these books as blind as possible, because during the rereads I'm definitely noticing I'm not enjoying them as much. And obviously some of that is going to be down to age, you know, I'm no longer the perfect age category to read these. But I also think it's because I know what's coming. So I would really recommend, if you're going to read these, especially for the first time, go in as blind as possible, go in knowing as little as possible, because I feel like the first time round there were quite a few big surprises. This time round, obviously I already know what's happening, and I feel like it does take away from the book a little bit, unfortunately. But yeah, this is my pick for a middle book. Okay, roll number 5. The board's been quite nice so far, so let's hope it continues. Another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is other. So for other, we have adapted to TV. Okay, figure something out. And then we landed on other. So for this, it was adapted to TV. So I've gone through my shelves and I've decided to start another series, because why not, you know? It's not like it really matters, does it? So I've chosen Shadow and Bone. This was recently adapted to TV. I think it was last year it came out on Netflix. Now, I haven't watched that series because I like to read the books before I watch any adaptations, and I haven't read this or the Six of Crows duology. So my plan is to, during the month of April, definitely to read this one obviously because it's on my official TBR, but maybe even see if I can read all 3 of these in the trilogy. I don't know anything about it. I'm planning on going into it that way. If you want to know what it's about, here is the back of the book. You can pause the video now and read it if you wish to. But yeah, this is my next pick. I really can't tell you a lot more about it, but it was adapted by Netflix into a TV show. And it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully, last but not least, roll number 6. That was a 2. It's off here, but it was a 2, I promise. 1, 2, and that is genre-ish. Genre-ish, we have fantasy. Okay, very nice. Then last but not least, and very nicely, because I only got 6 books this month, which hasn't happened in a while, is genre-ish. And for this, it was fantasy, which I like, because I like fantasy books, obviously, if this pile wasn't already telling of that. So for this, I've decided to go for another start of a series, but it's a reread. But it's a reread where I was, when I was younger, reading these books as they came out. And then I never finished the series because like life got in the way. So I want to reread them and then eventually finish the series. So the book I need to read for this is Cinder. If I remember correctly, this is about a girl who is part cyborg. Yeah, it says cyborg on the back. And I mean, I might as well just read the back, honestly. Let's just read the back because my memory's not that great. Cinder, a gifted mechanic in New Beijing, is also a cyborg. She's revelled by her stepmother and blamed for her stepsister's sudden illness. But when her life becomes entwined with the handsome Prince Kai's, she finds herself at the centre of a violent struggle between the desires of an evil queen and a dangerous temptation. Cinder is caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal. Now she must uncover secrets about her mysterious past in order to protect Earth's future. Yeah, I remember really enjoying this and it being a hell of a lot of fun to read. And all of the series, the main characters are different, but like the characters are in, and yeah, I just remember it being such a fun time. So this is next on the list. So yeah, these are all of the books that are on my official TBR for April, and I'm really excited about all of them. So yeah, that was a nice short and sweet one because the board was actually kind to me for once. But I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts or feelings on any of these books or anything you think I should prioritise, this can literally be anything. Spot it behind me, see it in a different video, let me know if I need to prioritise one because I need to cut down my TBR. It's something I'm working on this year. But yeah, I really enjoyed that and I hope that you did too. Give the video a like if you liked it. Subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this. And hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.